Well, welcome to Unshackled. Our goal is to give you a no-nonsense approach to sobriety and also how we got here. I know for myself it was a long, long journey, but I was well worth. I learned a lot of things along the way. And one of the things that I learned along the way was how destructive my relationship with alcohol had become. And I equate it to our dating or married lives or relationships. Because probably, when you look at the first time you may have tried to some substance or alcohol or whatever it is to take away the inhibitions that we have to do something. And that is euphoric. I mean, it's kind of like taking a couple of drinks to get the courage to go up and dance with a girl. And it's beautiful. And you look at each other and maybe your eyes meet and you fall in love. It's kind of like that with the same thing with alcohol. Maybe the first time you tasted it, it lowered your inhibitions and you felt like king of the world. But slowly but surely, just as in a relationship, you start the date, the substance, and the girl, and the boy. And basically what happens is you get to know each other better and everything is fine for a long time. You're having fun. There are no consequences. Nothing seems to bother you. And it's great. And then, just like with alcohol or the substance, things start to happen maybe. There are consequences. Just like in a relationship. Maybe, you've been in a relationship for a year or two and you feel like doing something else, going out and doing something. Not that it's that destructive, but the point is that, it's no longer the pink cloud period. And it just kind of goes along and along and along. And nothing much happens. And then like I said, there are consequences. Maybe you crash the car. Maybe you get, unfortunately, you get a DWI or a DUI, whatever state you're in. And, you brush it off as being unlucky. And maybe you start getting into arguments with, when you're in a physical relationship with a significant other, be it a boy or a girl. There are consequences there too, because, little arguments start. And then before long, you are suffering more and more from the consequences of your substance abuse. And maybe you're in total denial. But maybe you're in denial in your physical relationships as well. And then all of a sudden you decide to move in together. Now, it's kind of like that with alcohol too. Alcohol becomes the primary purpose in your life. It's like you'll do anything to get it. You'll lie, cheat, steal maybe to get it. I know for a fact that I was always volunteering to go out and get takeaway or some food to eat. Well, I would stop at the liquor store, get a couple of quick beers as I was on my way. And I didn't think anything of it. I just thought that it was normal behavior. Slowly but surely, the decline starts, and you decide, maybe you've moved in together, just as alcohol has moved in permanently into your life. And now the arguments start, well, you didn't put the dishes away, you didn't do this, you leave your socks out, you do this, you do that. The same thing is with alcohol, right? As I just explained, you make up excuses for things, to do things, because alcohol has become so important in your life. And then all of a sudden, it's nothing but arguments. I once heard a great analogy about addiction, and it's like, when you first get a gun and you play Russian roulette and you put a bullet in the chamber and you put the gun up to your head and you click and nothing happens. There are no consequences whatsoever. And then all of a sudden, you know what? You put 2 bullets in and click, there's still no consequences. And you work your way up till you got 6 bullets in the chamber, and then it's bang, 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 bang. It's nothing but consequences. The same thing is in relationship. You've lost that initial love, that spark is gone, and now everything that he or she does irritates the hell out of you, and you're not living in peace. There's no joy in the relationship anymore. Maybe you've even stopped being intimate. Who knows? But there are things that are going to be that are in the relationship with you and with the substance abuse. And then all of a sudden, guess what? Somebody comes and says, you know what? I want a divorce. And the breakup happens. Now, for you as an abuser or an alcoholic or an addict, the thought of losing your best friend who's been with you through thick and thin, who's done things, and you've been together, you went to the dance together, you did this, you did that together, and now it's time. There's nothing but consequence, there's nothing but heartache, so you need to divorce. And somebody's got to get a lawyer. Unfortunately, you have to represent yourself if you are an abuser or an alcoholic or whatever. And you've got to go and you've got to ask for help, which a lot of us don't want to do because we're prideful. Most of us have hidden our addiction from people. We don't want them to know the amount of what we are drinking. And we don't want people to know about our relationship at home, how we are, because when we go out, we look like a really nice couple. But underneath it, there's all sorts of stuff going on. And that is exactly the same when you're in end stage substance abuse, right? You don't want to tell people because you're ashamed. You feel guilty. What if they found out, who I really was? And that's the bottom line. It's time to divorce your addiction because the relationship is over. It's time to find a new lover. It's hard, I know. I went to 4 rehabs in 9 months myself. And I could not stop. I wanted to get rid of this thing that was haunting me, but I couldn't because I'd been in this relationship and life without alcohol seemed impossible to me. It really, it got me, down to the point where I was, there was nothing but darkness. There was no light in my life anymore. And my hope for you is as we go through, and I'll be sharing and putting more videos up, that hopefully, I can bring you or give you tips and things that I did and learn from my experience, because I was told one time that learning from your mistakes is intelligence. Learning from somebody else's is genius. So if I can help anybody in any way out there in YouTube land or the world, I am more than happy to do it. I'll give you my whole story honestly, and hopefully it'll be some of you will be able to relate and maybe make the change. Anyway, that's for another day. I'll be posting more videos, of course. And till we meet again, have a good day. God bless. Bye.